Now, when I was a kid, I wasn't that great at football, so I regularly had to go retrieve my balls from my neighbour's yard. It seems like it's no different these days, but it's just a different type of balls. Right, you're back for a Thursday here at The Bit of Truth, giving you exactly how it needs to be said. Our first article today covers this bloke who refuses to give back his ex's testicles that he keeps in a jar in the fridge after the breakup. Oh Lord, what is going on? I thought you didn't want them, so that's why you chopped them off. But now all of a sudden you want them back. To do what with? Also, why in the hell would you keep them in the fridge? Just in case you ran out of pickled eggs for your midnight snack? I think that you need to take a trip back to the doctors, albeit a different kind of one.
Is y'all right upstairs?
Speaking of balls, this next man has some massive ones. Lee Anderson says if you don't like the barge, you can F off back to France. Brilliant, bravo. I think that you should take the trophy for today. You are wonderful, we like it a lot. We need more people just like this saying exactly how it should be said. No more beating around the barge. Now, if you could actually do something about it, you will be our next PM.
Just do it!
And if you're wondering why they wouldn't get on the barge, let me explain. Lawyers claim that migrants can't board the barge because of a fear of water. Are you having a laugh? So let me get this straight. You're telling me that the Dover Discoverers, the ones who sit 50 to a dinghy, crossing one of the busiest shipping lanes in Europe, are scared of water?
Bullshit!
This is complete bollocks. I'm sure it was those lefty lawyers, the ones on TikTok, telling them exactly what they need to say in order to get exactly what they want. This is a scandal, this is a scam, and I am fed up of hearing bullshit excuses.
I don't have time for this bullshit.
Now, for the small amount, 15 people, so a starting 11 plus a few subs for one team, one of them has shared what it's really like aboard. The first migrant to step off the barge has told us what it's really like. Yes, this economic refugee, and you'll see why I say that in just a moment, says that he liked it. He loved the amenities and the free food and toiletries that were given to him on arrival. And he probably was going to say a bit more until he was whisked away by one of these do-gooding charity workers saying that he can't talk to the press. Why don't you want them talking to the press? Is it because you don't want us to actually know how nice it is aboard on there? Maybe you just want to keep the narrative that is completely horrible and keep them housed in the Ritz. Well, anyway, this man who left his home, presumably due to big scary events so bad that he needed to flee, has been in Britain around 6 months, and guess what? He left his wife at home. Are we fucking kidding? This just shows exactly how it really is. I'll say it again, just in case you missed it. So bad, so terrible that you need to flee where you come from, but leave your wife at home. Again, excuse me for just one moment while I slap myself in the face multiple times.
Ow! Knights of Columbus, that hurt!
So what are the government doing about this? Let's have a look. The government launches a task force against corrupt immigration lawyers. Oh, Suella, you really think that we are that stupid? We aren't. We know that this is nothing more than just talk. Don't worry, more and more people are waking up each and every day, tuning into my channel, to see that everything you say is just that. Words.
Stop talking!
But it's not just us. Let's see how America's getting on. Biden's administration has given away $2.35 billion to the Taliban since the withdrawal. Again, that's $2.35 billion to the Taliban since the withdrawal. Yes, let's just keep giving money to these guys. Well done.
What an idiot!
Now, it's not like countries closer to home don't waste money either. Let's take a look at Scotland and that horrible woman who would love nothing more than to build a wall between them and us. Nicola Sturgeon's government spent £14 million on credit cards over 3 years. Yes, that's £14 million of your hard-earned taxpayer money spent on yoga classes, 5-star stays at Gleneagles, Wellington boots and driving tests. But that's not all. There's nail polish, china crockery, a home disco, and shoe stoppers. Hold on, there's more. She is doing some reading, so she needed to buy 6 copies of her own book. And also 21 copies, and I really wish I was making this up, as you really couldn't write this shit. Yes, 21 copies of a book called How to Run a Government So That Citizens Benefit and Taxpayers Don't Go Crazy.
What a fucking bitch, am I right?
Right, moving on. Speaking of complete tits, a woman claims her colleagues act weirdly around her now that she's returned to the work with her new boobs. Well, no shit, Miss Attention Seeker. When you wear something that has them stick out like that and they are now bigger than your head, people will notice. However, I'm calling the whole thing out as bullshit. I think that you just wanted some attention from your 717 followers. Maybe if you had a brain bigger than your bosom and actually did something worthwhile, people might tune in to see you. I bet that you did this for nothing more than to gain a few extra followers.
Tits to the wind!
And let's move on to an even bigger tit. My XXX boobs are the biggest in the world. Yes, she says that they're out of control and keep knocking things over. Knocking things over? I'm surprised you can walk. What in the world possesses someone to inject 10 litres of saline into themselves?
What the fuck is that?
This does not look good, not one bit. Moving on. A model was banned from flying due to an inappropriate outfit. Well, I wonder why that was. What happened to actual decent women? The more and more TikTok and OnlyFans is pushed thanks to the Me Too movement, the more and more women think they can get away with doing whatever they like without any consequences. Why act surprised and complain when you're turned away from a flight for turning up in that? Have some decency for yourself. You are completely deluded.
Would you put on some clothes, please?
And more deluded females are these next two. People think that my 56-year-old mum is my twin because we look identical.
Bullshit!
No, they don't. What people? Ah, these people. Although your mum is rather tasty for her age and would most certainly get a portion from your Royal Highness the Bitter Truth himself, you look decades apart. The only people that are saying this to you are trying to get both you and your mother in the same bed at the very same time. Go start an OnlyFans. I'm sure you'll do very well.
Genius. Let's do this.
And speaking of careers that don't go very well, let's have a look at this next woman. Work from home employee sacked and loses unfair dismissal case after keystroke technology reveals the truth on what she was actually doing. Yes, that's right, another lazy worker who cried and tried to sue once she was found bullshitting the bullshitters. They started an investigation after she missed numerous deadlines and meetings, was absent and uncontactable. She was found to have started work late on 7 days, left early on 29 days, and recorded no work on 4 days, averaging 54 strokes per hour during these 3 months. I'm sure she was stroking, but just not typing. She didn't type a single letter for 117 hours in October, again for 143 hours in November, and 60 hours in December. Then she tried to deny the data. Of course, she would try and blame it on her mental health for affecting her poor work performance. Well, good luck in your new career. Maybe you can join the women in the previous articles.
Actually, that one's really good.
Well, I've got some advice for you. When you are walking to your next job, do not text and walk at the same time. Here are the dangers of texting and walking. Who the hell has time to do these studies? What is the point? Anyway, it's unsurprising to learn that texting whilst walking makes you more likely to fall down. What's next? The dangers of jumping out windows? Brilliant. Thank you so much for this information. I'll be able to sleep peacefully tonight. And speaking of sleeping peacefully, travellers are obsessed with this $18 Kmart travel pillow. No thank you. I don't fancy getting whacked in the face when the person in front leans their seat back at full velocity. I'll just do it the old-fashioned way, either by leaning on the person next to me or out in the aisle so that a trolley dolly can whack me in the head with the cart as she's waking me up for feeding time.
Wake up, bitch!
And lastly, just about feeding time, again, be careful where you eat. This bar in Italy hits customers with a $2 charge for cutting a sandwich in half.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Piss off. So, what have we learnt today? Don't keep your balls in the fridge. Boat people are scared of water. Women are still bizarre. And don't text whilst walking or you'll probably fall down. Good night.